Hi, I'm Damon from Joie. I'm going to show you today how to use the Spin 360 in rearward facing mode right the way from the start with all the inserts in to fully removing those out. So of course, best thing to start with, if we're in a 5-door vehicle, is rotate the seat towards us so we've got better access to the system itself for loading the children in. And if the harness is done up like on this one, or we've forgotten to lengthen it before, depress the button on the front section there, put your finger below the pads, pull forwards and downwards to extend those as long as possible, and then either just drop those over the sides, or of course we can utilise the ready-made harness holders on the sides here that will help hold those out of the way as we're loading the child in there. So I'll start off with a small baby. So of course, as we come to the vehicle, we can dip underneath the roof line to load little ones straight into the seat itself. Now, once we've got the child in situ, we want to then just meet these two buckles together, and they'll just overlap ever so slightly and clip into the buckle. So of course the benefit here is with making the harness nice and long before we got the child to the vehicle, it's very easy to connect in there. What we then want to do is pull up as much of the slack as we can away from the lower clothing section here to then pull the harness nice and tight. So that's really your first sort of stage. What we then want to do is ensure that the pads are fully down and the child is positioned correctly in the seat itself and get any residual slack out. So give it a nice little pull there, and what we're looking for is 2 fingers flat on the child's shoulder and a little bit of a wiggle there. So that's tight enough but not too tight, pads are correctly positioned, etc. Now of course, as the children gradually grow, we are going to start to move all these inserts out. So we'll show you that the best routine for getting the child out here is don't undo the buckle to start with. That is a fatal mistake many make, and that ends up twisting harnesses, etc., and making a bit of a mess. So depress the button at the front, finger below the pads, pull forwards and downwards to make it nice and long, eject the buckle and say either just drop over the sides or drop into the nice little ready prepared harness holders that we've got at the side of the seat itself. So that's then of course allowing us then the ability to get the child out, and if we need to, we can dip under the roof line to remove. Now as we move on to a larger child, so this sort of child, as we place him in there again, or her of course, we can place into the vehicle, drop straight on in there, and as we're starting to look here, with this one we're getting towards the borders of taking the head section out, so very easy to do. If we had got the child, we can easily remove, just 2 little press studs at the very back of the insert itself, so we can very quickly and easily remove that out to then place the child back in situ. Get the pads over the shoulder, and if necessary, as the child's gradually growing, like here, we will just lift the headrest up 1 position, so very easy to do, like so, to give that extra little bit of room for the shoulders where the headrest section is there. Pass the harness again over the lap section, meet together and clip straight into the buckle, so really quick and easy to do. Then feed through the extra slack, exactly the same routine as we did last time, pulling through there to ensure we've got as much of the slack out as possible. So pull up again and give that extra pull. Now as I've loaded this little one in here, you'll see that it's not quite sitting central, so the child is actually moved over slightly to that side there. So we'll find that this side is nice and tight, this side is a little bit loose. So it's a great indicator to show that we haven't got a child centrally sighted into the seat. If that happens, just loosen off ever so slightly, we can reposition the child to get them sitting centrally in the seat itself, and then retension, pull the pads back down, etc., and off we go, ready for the road. So with either and any of these size children, of course, once we've done all the harness bits, etc., we can rotate and continue the journey straight on all the way through in rearward facing mode until we're ready to, of course, take the child out again. Now with further progression, so insert wise, the head section would tend to come out somewhere around about 6 months. The body section here will tend to come out for most children somewhere around about 9 months to a year. Now I have got a much larger child here that will show all the inserts out, but we have got a 3rd stage. So this will tend to come out somewhere around 9 months to a year. We can still leave that wedge section in there up to and over 12 months to 15 months if necessary, to help with the angle to keep the child at a more reclined position until their neck is strong enough, because as we take this out, we are a much straighter and much more upright sort of seating position that does really require the child's neck to be stronger to stop the head nodding forwards. So as we move the next child in there, I'll just automatically move that up. I'll yet again use the lovely little harness holders there at the side of the seat, so just get those positioned right over there. The shoulder pads, if we need to, we can always tuck under the headrest to again make entry and exit a lot easier. Now, again, bringing a much bigger child in there, one of the great beauties with the rotating seats is, of course, again, the ease of access, and of course, I'm keeping my back nice and straight as I can take the child's head straight underneath and pop them straight into the seat itself. As this is the first time I've fitted this child, we'll now just set the headrest system to make sure that's at the correct height. So we've got it just above the child's shoulder, like so. Once we've got them in there, check that they're sitting centrally. As you'll see here, I can just get a hand inside on this side, whereas on this side I can get sort of 3 fingers down. So we can see that the child is sitting not quite centrally. So ensure that the child is sitting centrally in the seat. We'll make sure that the harnesses are perfectly adjusted to both sides of the child's shoulders. Meet them together again, clip it straight in, pull through the additional slack, so we're getting it up away from the lower clothing, and then pull through the slack. Readjust the chest pads and get rid of any further slack out of there until, again, 2 fingers, we just pop those in at the shoulder, 2 fingers and a wiggle, both are even, so we know the child is sitting centrally in there, we're ready to rotate around. For larger children like this, of course, if they're asleep, you may need just to move their feet a little bit as we rotate. For children, of course, that are awake, they'll naturally move their feet out. We would just reposition and adjust their feet accordingly. The majority of children, when they're rearwards facing, will sit cross-legged like this. Some will sit with their feet straight up the seat, and others will just sit with their feet against the back. Now, there are, at the end of the day, it's the child's choice. As they grow, they'll gradually adjust to what is the most comfortable position for them. For my own daughter, it was always cross-legged that she seemed to choose. Now, with the spin, we have got the option to create additional space in the vehicle. Now, this can't be used in all cars. Some vehicles, the seat angle and the friction between the base, the product will automatically retract in on its safety system. But with the larger children, they will usually keep their feet, etc., up here, which can hold it into position. There's no fear of entrapment due to, of course, where their legs are going. And as you can see, there's no chance of them getting their feet down into the gap systems, no matter which sort of method of seating they actually employ. Now, majority of vehicles will want to be fully restrained back to gain extra space into the vehicle, but the choice is, of course, yours. With regards to ease of use, the rotation can still be done even when retracted back. So hopefully that was some help for you today, and thank you for listening.